go ahead and start the recording. All right, welcome to the SERP webinar with Gael Breton of HireClick.com. As I said before, my name's Kevin. I do all the marketing operations with SERP. I'm here with Darren, our founder, and we're excited. This is going to be a fun webinar. Gael's a whiz at SEO, and he's got a lot of tactics for everyone here today. So I'll go ahead and let Darren introduce himself, and then we'll pass it over to Gael.
Hey guys, so like Kevin said, this is Darren. I founded SERP back in May of 2011 now, so about 18 months ago. Kevin and I are down, but we're both down in San Diego, so we're together right now doing the webinar. Gael's all the way across the pond in Europe, and we are, like Kevin said, we're super excited about this webinar. We're going to try and start doing these a lot more frequently. We did the one last week about conversion rate optimization. This one's obviously titled White is the New Gray, and we're super excited to have Gael here. As Kevin said, he's a whiz. He's worked with a lot of big brands and a lot of pretty impressive companies, so he's got a lot of good tidbits to share.
All right, I guess I'll take it from there. So the reason why I decided to come up with white is the new gray is because there's been all these changes in SEO and all these new things, and as I keep going on forums, I keep seeing people just trying the same stuff again and again, and they try to get Web 2.0 links, and they try to build their private network and get drop domains and all that stuff, and they think they're getting a good deal for that, and they think oh, it's cheaper, it's better, I'm ranking higher. And the thing is, it's not always the case, and basically tonight's webinar is an attempt of me to try and show you that you can build a great brand, great links, and you completely white hat to an extent, and still do it on budget. So this is me. I was born in 1986, so I am 25. I've been in SEO for only 4 years, actually. It's not that much, but I've been working a lot on it, like 12 hours a day on average, probably, for the last 4 years. I started a company called HireClick a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, actually, now. We started in February of 2010, yeah. And basically, we started in our living room with my co-founder, Mark. And now we are at about 15 employees in the office. So it's going great. It's a great venture, and we started with SEO consulting, and we're more and more going towards scalable services for people. As I said, I worked a lot, despite being in SEO for only 4 years. I've been participating in 300 campaigns. It doesn't mean I ran all of them. That would be crazy. But I've been working on a lot of stuff, including brands like Macy's and 99 Designs, Nigel Lawson, and I'm talking to a lot of big players these days. So it's great because I've been on both sides of the spectrum. When I started 4 years ago, I literally was a scrub on Wikifire, and now I've grown to working with really awesome brands, and that's really has grown my understanding of marketing, online marketing, and how people use the internet. So yeah, as I said, I used to kind of be a gray hat before. That was easy, the time where you could just spin an article and just throw it 300 times and just rank page 1 for your favorite keyword. That was good times, but it's not the case anymore. I mean, it can happen, but usually if you want long-term results, and that's what I really cared about, I wanted to build something that's long-term, then it seems that it's more and more compromised. So from a little bit before the Penguin update, a couple of months before, I was well, I just don't want to do that anymore. It was a little bit boring for me too, and I wanted to do real marketing. That's what I studied at university, and so I started picking up on white hat, and just picking up on white hat, but with a gray hat mentality. So trying to scale and trying to build something that is effortless in the end. And I start to believe we're getting there. So there's a little bit of a disclaimer for that webinar. If your website looks like that, and I know people have websites that look like that, and I know they can make money from it, but it's going to be difficult to apply the tactics I'm going to talk about tonight. Mostly because it relies on actually talking to real people. It relies on actually building relationships and building likability. Then it's difficult when you have a default WordPress theme or even worse like that website. And I used to run an affiliate website for Extreme No back in the day, so that's why I picked that one.
So is this your site or is this?
No, it's not mine, but mine was worst.
Okay. Hopefully this person's site isn't. They're not watching right now.
Well, I hope they have other sites. Then we'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's not a webinar on how to rank #1 on Google. I mean, it's not about ranking high. It's also about converting that traffic, and you know that when you're doing it the legit way as well. I mean, it takes more time than like spamming a lot of like spun articles like people used to do, or like just spamming these Web 2.0s and everything. It takes more time, but it's also here to stay. So very often, when you start to go down that road, the question, I mean, what you think about is that your whole business model needs to adapt to the way you're promoting your website. So you need to have something that's just as durable in time as the way you're promoting your website. So, like, for example, if you were to, like, I know a lot of people are affiliate in the room, and if you're like you're not going to build a website around a single offer. You're going to build a website around fitness, for example, because you know that you can build that website around fitness, and then whenever an offer comes up, then you can review it and you can rank that page quite quickly because you like captured all that site authority. So this is not how to rank #1. This is how to build authority, getting long tail traffic, do all that stuff, and eventually just making money. Which is I care a lot more about money than rankings really. And this is not. I love that offer on Wikifire. This is.
Let me stop you real quick. Just for people who don't know, we have listeners who probably have never heard of Wikifire. Wikifire is an internet marketing forum. A lot of us, who, customers of ours and a lot of our friends, we all kind of met there. Just an online community, a little rough and tumble there, but it's full of a lot of the bigger gray hats and black hats from the day. So we learned a lot of our stuff from the other side of the tracks. Basically, that's what Gael was kind of alluding to earlier. He's going to cover that right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a very affiliate-y kind of like. I mean, kind of spammy, but at the same time, you can see that there's people trying to go on the right side of the force, but they're struggling, and hopefully it can help some people today. So tonight is also not about getting thousands of backlinks to your website and like doing all that stuff, because first of all, you don't need it when you build like real good links. I mean, I remember like back in the day, I ranked on page 1 for like 8,000 exact keyword with a single backlink because it was a link on elens.com, like a link on their blog, on the front page, and it's possible. It's just, and it takes just as much work. It's just a different kind of work. And so now that we went through the disclaimer, I got to say I'm in a very hostile environment here because there's really like two sides to SEO these days. On one side, there's these people which are like the white hat. Oh my God, inbound marketing, it's amazing, and they don't have much to back it up. They just put content. I mean, like look at like how many articles are on that website inbound.org if you guys don't know about it, about like, oh my God, make great content and all that stuff. But really, it often lacks of actionable stuff and stuff that really focuses on return on investment, which is what I don't like so much about that community. And on the other side, you've got the gray hat, black hat people that they still make money, and there's a lot of people making money still from that. And they're just hating on them and like flaming and everything, and it's like politics, I am trying to be in between, and I have friends on both sides. And I think what's really deadly these days, as I said earlier, is that being a white hat with a black hat mentality, like kind of like trying to scale what's legit. For example, you can see that on that screen. I'm the number one person. I did that in 2 days, and I haven't been banned because I've actually used only legit ways. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in my slides. So as everything changed, there's a lot of new challenges we're facing as SEOs since like all these things changed. Like I can't spam articles and just rank for $20. I mean, I need to create content that just doesn't get me hit by Panda, hopefully. And what I'm doing now, I'm also trying to get like long tail traffic and help my conversions and stuff because I'm starting to pay like 4, 5, 6 times more for my content. Well, I don't want to just not get penalized. I might as well just work on building likability and get people to drop their email address on my website so I can market them through my email list and that kind of stuff. There's also like where you get links. I mean, there's that great case study by Microsite Masters. I'm sure a lot of people read it. It's about Penguin. Like people that got penalized. I mean, clearly just spamming my anchor text anymore and getting links from non-related sites from their stats is dangerous. I'm not saying that you cannot get away with it. Many people do. But there's also many people that don't. And when it's a business that you rely on to pay your bills, it matters. So that's another big challenge. Another big challenge that I think a lot of people ignore is that this is not a single channel conversion anymore. Like people don't just come on your site from organic search and it just give you money. It's very rare. And I'm sure you can see that, Darren, on the analytics for SERP right? I mean, people come from forums and then they come back from organic search on a like branded query, and then they come back like from social or like some blog post, and then eventually they convert on a free trial, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the official title for this is it's a cohort analysis. So you have a bunch of people entering your funnel, but unless you're segmenting by refer, you don't really know why they're converting. Like you might find that people from Quora, for instance, are converting 10 times better than people from Google. So if you're putting all your effort into Google, you're kind of wasting your effort at that point. I think you actually covered that. I think you even mentioned Quora later, so sorry if I said
I mentioned Quora. No worries. But the thing as well is that most people, when they try to analyze conversion, what makes them money, they just look at like the last touch. So they look at like the last time the person came on the website and when they converted. So of course direct traffic is going to be very high most of the time, or like email traffic or that kind of stuff. But really, how did people come from email? How did people came directly on your website? Like what happened before? And that's what that kind of analysis is for. And that's why building likability in your niche is great, because if you go if you have people coming on your website and you just stop trying to throw down their throats on rebuild, like they're probably not likely to come back. And you're losing a lot of conversions. You might make some money from like the few people that will just Google, click, buy, but you're missing out on like 98% of the market. And that's kind of a big missed opportunity.
Definitely. And to quickly add, so that was a screenshot from Google Analytics. There are other analytics services, I believe Mixpanel and Kissmetrics both allow you to do this. They actually allow you to track repeat visitors and then obviously assign when they've finally converted. So like for ours, for instance, we offer a free trial, but somebody might come and visit our SERP-IQ site like multiple times over the course of 2 weeks and before signing up for the trial. And other analytics tools like Kissmetrics will allow you to actually see that and see that. I feel like there's a false assumption with SEOs that it's always one visit, one conversion. Like it's just that. Yeah. But it's not that. It's a lot more. A lot of times the runway can be weeks or even months, depending on the cost of your service, what the nature of your service is, and it helps to use multiple analytics services to be able to really capture that data.
Yeah, I mean, I'll really hop in real quick, Gael, and just say that I think a lot of people use Kissmetrics Mixpanel. They think it's just for software as a service businesses like SERP-IQ, but I mean, you can use Google Analytics, but it's also really helpful, I think, even if you don't have a software business, to look at your funnel with those types of tools.
Yeah, you can use it for if you have just an email form, or even technically you can use it for e-com. Anytime there's a concise conversion action, a sale or a form submit or a sign up or whatever it is, you can use these other analytics. You can also use goals in Google Analytics, which is free, and it can really help you get a lot more insight than just general, okay, this person came from here and they did this.
Yeah, and most importantly, you can just make so much more money if you understand that kind of stuff. And that's what most SEOs miss out, because SEOs are so focused on getting organic traffic and rankings that they forget that kind of stuff usually.
Yeah, I think it's more advanced SEOs tend to get this, but I think it gets lost in the translation sometimes, as a lot of SEOs get hung up on SEO means high rankings, SEO means high traffic, but it's optimization, and really what you're doing is you're optimizing the traffic coming into your site. So the best way to convert those people is the goal of SEO, not the most traffic, unless I guess you were running like some sort of CPM site or something where you're getting paid per visitor. I feel like it's really a matter of concisely defining what we're trying to do, which is make more money. because nobody really does SEO for fun. I guess some people do, but not really any of us who are sane.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, that was a big point, and that's something that is really more and more important these days, especially as like social becomes a big part of your traffic if you're using it.
Right.
It's good. So I've actually listed a bunch of tools that I'm using through that presentation, and there's a lot. I will actually didn't have time to host the presentation on SlideShare, but we'll post it on the SERP blog. I'll just go through them quickly. Boomerang for Gmail allows you to send emails, like bring them back to your inbox if people didn't respond to you, or send emails like with a delay, so you can say send it on Sunday night, for example, and you're working on Friday. Great way to, for example, outreach to people, because when you outreach, when people open their emails on Monday morning, this is the highest response rate by very far. Stuff like Buffer App, which just allows you to keep a healthy Twitter feed and allow you to like share stuff as you go around the web. Inbox Queue, which I'm going to talk a lot about that webinar, basically allows you to find questions about given keywords on Twitter. Clipped is just a way to like kind of like save resources that you will use later. Link Clump is a way to a plugin that allows you to open batches of links all at once, so you can just make a box with your mouse and it will open all the links in that box. So for example, if you're outreaching to 100 targets, it's like really fast. Reportive, you can see social profiles of people in your Gmail interface. Really good for like, you know, following people at the same time, liking their page on Facebook, and emailing them, so it feels like you're just on every front. RSS subscription, which allows you to just like subscribe to any page that has an RSS in a click. Scraper allows you to literally just scrape Google. You can build a scraper for anything in there. For example, you can right-click, you click scrape, sorry, and then you'll be able to say build price alerts on Amazon, or for example, scrape an entire search result on Google. It's really good. Search by image. So if you have a lot of images on your website, you can right-click on them, and then you click search by image, and then you'll see every website that embedded that image, and then you can just outreach to them and be like, hey, link back to me. Chrome SEO, basic, just metrics. TartApp finds any email address on the page you're on, and it will display them, and you can email them in a click. Really good to outreach as well. So that's just a bunch of tools. I'm just going to say how I use them now. But first of all, I want to talk about content creation and ideas, because, as I said, if I'm going to pay like 5 to 10 times more for my content, I don't want it just to protect me from Panda. That would be kind of a waste of money for me. So what I want to do is find awesome people that can write good stuff for about the same price as you're paying it everywhere else. So I'm sorry, but great writers, they're not on Fiverr. They're not on Desk. They're not on Testbroker. Imagine, like, if you were like the best SEO, like think about it. Like, if you're an average SEO, would you ever go and sell SEO services on Fiverr?
No, it would never happen.
Exactly, and this is the same for writers. So what you're gonna get from there, and even from Odesk most of the time, unless like you pay people quite a bit of money, and Textbroker, I'm not even gonna mention it, you'll get that level of people for writers. And this is not the kind of people that will get you like social shares. They won't get you natural links and all that stuff. And these things do happen, by the way. I'll talk about it later. So there's actually ways to find people that will write for about the same price. I'd say like, I don't know, like 20 to 50 bucks. Like write like really good pieces of content. But you just need to go and find them at the right place. And usually, I really love these places. Literally write an amazing job offer on like ProBlogger and Blogging Pro. I got 125 emails from writers last time. And the beauty of that is that these people are bloggers. So for example, this was when I was launching like a money saving blog. I got 125 people emailed to me. Out of these 125, 60 had blogs. And not only did I get amazing writers for 50 bucks, but I also had a list of 60 people that are willing to get money from me and have a blog that could link back to my new money saving blog. So for 50 bucks, I got 60 link targets that are willing to trade links. I got all the writers I needed. and I also got a link from ProBlogger, which is a really good deal. And the trick in that is that you want to be really strict and just like hype up the position you're going to hire people for. That's really the trick. And also what I do as well is that I tend to outreach to the bloggers in my niche as well. Like find like kind of like the up and coming bloggers in your niche. Usually you can find them on Twitter. And then using ToutApp, which is where it's great, you can just go on their blog and you will see their email. You'll be able to just in one click email them, and if you have a template, in 3 seconds you can outreach to a blogger. Now all you have to do is type best money saving blogs of 2012. With your link lump, you open 50 of them, and in 3 seconds you have your template. You just outreach to 50 bloggers. You offer them $20, $30 per piece of content. These people are already have a website. They have a notion of the audience. They can link back to you. They know people. They know their niche, and you will not pay more than what you would pay for a decent article on TextBroker or even on Odesk. So figuring out where you're going to find the right people is very important. But finding the right people is not everything. It's also about content ideas, right? And in that example, I took SERPIQ. So Quora is like a content gold mine. The way we do it is that for any blog or any topic you're going to write about, all you have to do is subscribe to the RSS feed of the topic. So for example, keyword research for SERPIQ, right? And I know Darren is hitting Quora pretty hard right now. But these people are people that actually care about your stuff, are the people that will read your blog or whatever. And they're asking questions. And very often there's like very, very smart people on Quora that will just answer these questions and like post graphs and videos and everything and all that stuff. And all you have to do is send a link to your writer, your amazing writer you just found, and tell him, well, can you compile these 3 threads and put them together in an amazing article? And all of a sudden, you can even quote the people that gave the answers, link back to their site, and then like make friends with them. And all of a sudden, you have great writers and great content for $20 to $30. That is, I'm sorry for anyone that's on internet marketing forums and stuff, but using that kind of methodology to create content that actually gets links and shares has been like extremely successful for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this, what's interesting is specifically about this example, this screenshot. So I use TweetDeck, and TweetDeck allows you to like follow certain keywords and columns and stuff like that. And trying to follow anything related to SEO is just like, it's like subscribing to spam at that point. Like if you just put in the keyword research to follow on TweetDeck, it's all junk. It's all retweeted crap. And it's much better to go to a site like Quora. Does a really good job of keeping the crap out of there. The quality is really high there. Like you said, the quality of the responses, you'll get like the CEOs of companies replying to stuff. That's the quality is so much higher that it's really important to follow people and do things specifically on a site like Quora or competitors and stuff like that, because you're just going to filter out a lot of the noise.
Yeah, and most importantly, you also find like the leaders in your niche, and it links to their website, and it just gives you like more link targets and friends to make and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just a great way to brand yourself as well. I mean, look, like you're on the front page of keyword research, and it says serpiq.com.
Right.
That probably has some click-through,
Yeah, we actually do get traffic from Quora, and like I said earlier, it helps because we use analytics tools like Kissmetrics, and we're actually able to see conversions that come in from Quora and how it ended up happening. That person might end up visiting our site multiple times before converting, but we can see at some point they came from Quora, and that's helpful for us. Yeah,
exactly. Another way to get great ideas for content is, I don't know if you guys know alltop.com, but that's great as well. Literally, you just type any niche, and these guys already curated the best blogs or some of the best blogs in the niche, which means, and also the last posts. And also, out of all these popular blogs, they curate the best stories. So if you can see here, these are the best stories of the best blogs at the moment, which means, hey, this is the kind of hot stuff in the industry. I write about that, like how to scale your lead marketing strategy. Well, it's free. I can see that getting viral and everything, like curation in SEO citation and everything. And it's just a great way to find out what works and what doesn't. These guys, they get a lot of links. They get all these natural links like we all dream about. And then curating all of that is great. And the beauty of that is that once your blog gets decent, or like once your content gets decent, you can submit your RSS feed in there, and they actually accept your feed pretty quickly. We got a lot of clients and everything in there. And it means that they link to your 5 last posts and they permanently link to your blog homepage usually, which is, and a lot of people scrape that website. So you end up with like 20 links or something. Really quite easy once you have enough content. And you get both the ideas and you get the links and you get traffic as well. The last thing for content ideas, I don't know, I shared it quite a bit on the chat, but ubersuggest.com, basically what it does is it scrapes all the suggestions on Google for like your keywords. So for example, I put keyword research here. And like, wow, well, SERPIQ doesn't rank for keyword research webinar and keyword research tutorial. These have search volume. And imagine if SERPIQ ranked for that. Probably the conversion rate will be pretty high eventually if you offer the free trial. Then like just curating that and creating a list and then going through like Twitter and that kind of stuff to get headline ideas and then hand it up to your like writer you found on ProBlogger, all these kind of things. You will end up with like really high quality content. And the last one I wanted to talk about, it wasn't the last one, sorry, is Topsy. Topsy is like a real-time analytics of Twitter. So you type your keyword and like anything that kind of like gets some traction in your niche on social will get mentioned in there, which means that anything that's time sensitive, for example, I know that for PPC, because we're entering that market right now, I saw that there was an analysis for the American elections on the PPC budgets of the candidates, and that was really hot. This is the kind of stuff where you can just jump on the boat and like literally tell your writer overnight to write something about that, and guaranteed you get like a couple of links once you share it on social. Very easy, and these are great ways to build authority. And these things don't seem like much, but if you tweak your content strategy from let's just buy content for $20 on the forum to doing that kind of stuff, you'll feel so good when you start getting like 1 to 5 links a day without doing anything. And it really happens. Like I have clients that are now, I mean, they have big content budgets, but they're now up to like 20 to 30 natural links a day. We don't even do link building anymore for them. That kind of stuff really works. But I know, content ideas, great. It's pretty easy. So I went for promotion. And of course we finished with links. Promotion. Now I create that content. Most of the time, like you're like, oh my god, amazing. And then you post it and then nothing. Most of the time that's what happens. And that's because people think that just pressing publish is just going to do all the job. You know that building up your followership on social is like the most important thing. It's so great. You can just remarket to these people all the time. But that's too easy as well. You want nice relevant people to connect with? Follow along is really epic. It's like a search engine for Twitter bios. And there is the same for Google+. Find people on plus.com. So like for example here, I type keyword research and there's 244 people that have keyword research in their bio. That's quite a lot of people. So now that's great. Okay, you got people to follow and you can engage with. Still not enough, you know, that's just not scalable, right? It doesn't make my Grey Hat 9 be really happy. So now what I do is that I pick like a bunch of these people, mostly those who follow quite a bit of people, but not too many. Like clearly these people are like, I follow you, you follow me kind of people, which is bullshit. It means they have a lot of like crappy followers and everything. What you want is like that kind of people. Like, okay, like that's like 3 times more followers than people he follows and this guy as well. So I took these 2 guys and I actually matched the people they both follow. And now these are the people I want to make friends with. Because if my target market follows a core of people and I can analyze that with follower one, I can make a really short list of people. Like you can see I have like only 7 people here. If I put more users, I could end up with like a list of like 25 or 30 people. These are the influencers of the people that will buy my product. So for SERPIQ, these are the people that everyone that talks about keyword research follows and respects. Imagine if you can make friends with these people and they can continuously share your stuff. You will be exposed to your target market on a consistent basis. So literally, that's when you can go a little bit like just like give them links, prop them, do whatever to make friends with them, and yeah. Sorry?
I think we lost you there for a second. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I think we lost your audio there for just a second. You want to repeat the last like 20 seconds of what you said?
Yeah. Okay. I said, imagine if you can make friends with like the people that the people that buys from you like admire and follow. If these people can continuously share your stuff and you can like even bribe them to do that, you get in front of your target audience all the time. And that's a great way to build follower lists. That's a great way to build email lists. That's a great way to do all that stuff. So it's all about going a step further and not going for your target market, but going for the influences of your target market. And analyzing Twitter is a great way to do that. This one is easy. It's actually
just
go ahead.
Yeah, just let's continue talking about this strategy specifically of knowing follow on Twitter, because there's a lot of automation tools and stuff out there where it's like, oh, follow everybody who follows SEO mods. That's a terrible strategy because you're going to follow basically a bunch of bots. I mean, there's a lot of people who follow those things. And I found that a strategy that works a lot better for me is to follow the people that Matt Cutts follows, for instance. Not the people that are following him, the people that he's consciously chosen to follow. It should be a much smaller number, and it's most likely going to be people that he's going to engage with. And if you can engage with one of those people, you get their attention and they retweet you or respond, he's going to see that. And that's the value of Twitter, is you can rapidly get the network effect going if you can just get the attention of the right people. And to get the attention of the right people, you need to follow the right people. And I always recommend following the people that the authority figures are following, not who are following them. So just wanted to add that in there. I think this is key. I mean, I'm nowhere near an expert at Twitter. I'm still learning new things about it every day. But I've found that if you get the attention of the right people, you can get a ton of traffic from it.
Yeah, and one thing as well that you can add to that is that the lower they are on the list, the longer they have been following them. The way Twitter organizes followers is when they're at the bottom, it means that these are the first users they ever followed, which means they're probably like really close friends and stuff.
Right.
So as you follow people down the list, you actually have more chance to get traction from it.
Yeah, it's funny, as I wrote, there was a couple months back, people were all buzzing about the term growth hacker, and I can't stand that term. So I wrote a blog post on my personal blog just saying it was just BS, and I explained why I thought it was BS. And I actually ended up getting a link from SEO Moz, from Rand. He wrote a blog post like talking about mine. Yeah, and it's funny, like they're like the leading referrer to my blog now, which is just bubbling over with irony. But it was a matter of I got some traction on Hacker News, news.ycombinator.com, because it was kind of an incendiary post. It was, it ruffled some feathers, really. And so that got attention, and then it started flying out through Twitter, and it just got the right people's attention, and eventually Rand saw it, and obviously he has a ton of influence in the industry. And so now I get a ton of traffic from them daily. And it's just another one of those examples. It's the old adage, quantity or quality over quantity, and this is the same idea, the 80-20 rule almost, like you're going to get a lot of results from just a couple really good connections as opposed to trying to hit everybody with, a little tiny connection.
Yeah, like the spam on Twitter just doesn't work, it's like, it's great, like get 10,000 bots follow you, it will bring you nothing,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how it works usually. People do that, they get 10,000 followers, and then they're like, Twitter's bullshit, it doesn't work. You get no traffic from it. Can't convert anything. And I'm actually going to talk about using Twitter to get links and all that stuff after. And actually, like Darren's blog post went so viral that his website was down for like 24 hours.
Yeah, I woke up to that. That was awesome. It was that and another post I had written over the summer that got a ton of traffic. And
exactly. Imagine if you converted like 3% of these people into an email address and you're a business.
Yeah, exactly. I
that's
think
a big deal.
One of the posts I wrote was about like the 12 rules for startups, and I think that ended up, even with it went down for 24 hours, and I still ended up getting like 25,000 visitors out of that because it hit like number 2 on Hacker News, and which is basically if you can hit the top 3 on Hacker News, you're going to get about 25,000 visitors or more. And even with taking down my site, like somebody shared the cache link, and I still got a bunch of like resulting traffic and stuff from it. So yeah,
exactly.
It's all about just it's really more about architecting who to connect to, not necessarily how many people to connect to.
Exactly, and that's why these 7 people are a lot more powerful than like all the people these people follow, for example. Follow these people. Sorry. This one's super easy, but you mentioned it in one of your blog posts, so I wanted to mention it. Literally just like set up Google Alerts for like all the blogs in your industry with your keyword, and just drop a comment and like comment. That was your startup link building strategy or something, right?
Yeah, here I'll grab the link while you're talking, so I'll share it to the group.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
it was my startup. It's a really simple blog commenting strategy that all startups should be using because
Yeah,
it's
and
basically painless.
it's that simple. It's like stupid. Like I don't sound smart for sharing it, but how many people do it? You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's really true. And what's funny is I ended up getting a lot of flack from people because, and I actually wrote a follow-up post, and people were giving me a hard time saying it was like a spammy idea. And it's funny because it's absolutely not spam. It's just saving you time doing tedious work. Like it basically is stopping you from having to copy and paste a bunch of crap. And that's like you mentioned this earlier, and that's how I define myself as an SEO is it's doing white hat techniques with a black hat mindset. So basically, like, how can I make this as smooth and automated as possible without actually like abusing things and ruining the internet,
Exactly.
basically?
As long as it doesn't hurt people, like or like the experience of the internet, it's not black hat to me.
Right.
Let me hop in here real quick and just say that we've actually been using that strategy, Google Alerts, blogs, and then commenting on them for SERP even after we got some negative feedback on that post. And it's working just beautifully. Like we've gotten plenty of people, some great influencers to test out our beta product when it came out. We've gotten some really good feedback from our target market, which is agencies, consultants, and I actually haven't had one negative comment from using that strategy at all on any of the blogs that I've targeted.
Yeah, and what we also try to do, since we are a product, is anytime, randomly bloggers will talk about the tools they use or some process they do, and they'll mention us, and we make sure we go in there and we're like, hey, we're from SERP-IQ, thanks for, all we do is we're just thanking them, saying thanks for mentioning us. And inevitably, you probably already had a link from their original post, but then you're able to get that link in the comment. They're stoked because they talked about you and you just showed up, which just makes everybody happy. And it's just like and what's also good is because of those analytics we have plugged in, we can see if somebody's converting from that blog post that we didn't even solicit. We didn't solicit the review, but all of a sudden we got a conversion from it. So we're thankful for those people. And it's just one of those things of staying in tune with what you're actually trying to do. I feel like a lot of SEOs like do something and then move on to the next thing without watching what they did before. And a lot of times if you just settle in and figure out what's working, you don't really have to keep... Oh, sorry, a motorcycle just rode by. You don't have to keep moving. You can, if you find a process that works, you can keep repeating and really milk it for everything it can give you.
Yeah, and like what I want to say as well is like if a blog's gonna start mentioning you and they just pop up, don't hesitate to send them an email and tell them, hey, here's a 25% off coupon for your readership. The guy will share your content forever after. Like he will subscribe to your Twitter, he will like subscribe to your RSS feed, and he will start sharing your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because
it's such a simple little thing, just a quick thank you, and like you said, like if we just give them a discount code, like here, they can just add a little note to the top of their post that says, hey, the guys gave us a discount code for you. I mean, little things like that, and obviously it doesn't apply to everybody, but even like with what you're doing, at HireClick, you guys are able to offer discounts for your services because you're kind of productizing your service in a way. And if you can think in that mindset, you can really utilize these channels a lot more, and convert someone's just random mentioning of your product or service into a new conversion channel for yourself.
Exactly.
Which
and
is
it all
huge.
adds up. Like imagine that you comment on like 2 blogs a day. After a year, you're gonna have like 700 comments. Even if like 10% of them drive conversions, that's 70 new channels.
Right.
So it really adds up fast. It's easy. It's stupid, but it works. So do it. I know pretty much everyone that watches that webinar probably knows it, but very few people actually do it because it's kind of tedious. So I want to put it in there. Building karma in communities as well. I mean, we all know about Reddit. We all know about like all these communities, and it's really easy to build a karma in there. So that, for example, like I am the most influential. I'm not anymore, but last week I was because I was actually testing these techniques. All these like upvote communities can drive a lot of traffic. When I hit #1 on inbound, when I write a blog post, I get like 1,500 visits, which is not high can use, but it's also a lot easier to get on top. And building karma on these communities is dead easy. The way you do it is that you set up RSS feeds for all the most shared blogs in there. For example, you know for sure that on inbound.org, the SEO most blog post will hit page 1, whatever it is. Like Ren could write fart on a blog post, it would get page one, you know?
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just set up alerts on your phone and everything. And as soon as these blog posts are submitted on the blog, which I know now is at like 12:57 every day at my time, you can just submit it within like 10 seconds, and then you will get all that karma for that. What that does is that, okay, you're showing someone else's content, it doesn't help you directly. But what that does is that now I'm like top 20 members in there, which means that my karma is really strong, and every time I submit links from myself or from my friends, I will have a lot of weight, and like 2 or 3 of those will get me page one, get me 1,500 visits. Really, really, really easy to do. All you have to do is just study the patterns, share what people want, let them vote, don't even cheat, because they will do it for you. And then once you have that authority on that community, you can really bend the rules, you know? It's really powerful to promote your content. I'm sure you guys, I mean, we talked about that with Kevin. I'm sure now everyone's going to jump on it.
No, I want to talk about this for a second. I actually you mentioned Reddit. Reddit for me has been really powerful. I'm working on an urban gardening hydroponic blog, non-commercial right now, but I am trying to build that authority, and I am trying to grow traffic. And what you said about building trust in the community is absolutely true. I started my own subreddit for the topic or for my niche, and over the course of 5-6 months, without me really doing anything whatsoever, it's grown to 1,300 people. It's a flood of free content ideas all the time. We have people asking questions on, every topic you can imagine within the niche, so I can pull from there for content. But at the same time, I can throw my articles in there, or I can throw, any piece of content that I have in there, and I automatically get links. And it's 100% automated, 100% white hat.
And probably 90% of these communities are do follow links, by the way. And you get links, your submission gets links from everyone that voted it. So your submission gets 20 links, 20 internal links, 25 depending on how many votes you get. And then that's a do follow link to your site. Usually that's great. Even Reddit has that. And when you own the subreddit, it's so good, right? You just own that community. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is subscribe to a bunch of RSS feeds and find questions on Quora and just re-ask them and just animate that community. And I think last week I got 1,500 visits to a blog post of a payday loan client on Reddit. So you can really pass by a lot of stuff. Even payday loan people hate it, but still we got page one, So it's possible, and it's great. People love it. They can't say anything. I mean, everyone knew that I was gaminginbound.org. Everyone knew. At some point, I had 50% more votes than the number 2. But people couldn't do anything. It was just I was showing their own content. What are they gonna do?
Right.
So yeah, it's a really powerful way to and then it's just a machine. Just keep it going like the comments, and you can really own that. Inbox queue. That's one of my favorite Twitter apps ever. If you guys don't know it, basically what you can do is that you can input keywords in that, and that's a Chrome plugin. It also plugs into Hootsuite, and it will find questions for your keyword. So for example, Darren, if you were to put keyword research in there, it will find all the questions related to keyword research. Now the trick is that it also has the quality settings. So you can say, I only want people that have high cloud score or that kind of stuff. And then this way it weeds out all the spam and all that stuff. And you only end up with the questions from real people.
Oh, that's really nice, because that goes back to what I was saying earlier. The flaw with TweetDeck is if I put in keyword research there, I see everything. There's no filter or quality filter at all. Whereas
exactly.
it sounds like this overcomes that hurdle.
This is free, and every time you write a piece of content, just put that keyword in there, and then all the time you just get a bunch of a bunch of keywords that relate to that piece of content. And when people ask a question about that keyword, then you can be hey, we wrote an article, check it out. And then over time, you'll just build Twitter followers, and you get traffic that you can convert, because these are highly targeted people.
Awesome. Yeah, that's actually neat.
That's a really, really good app. Shouldn't have shared it. Because now everyone's going to be spamming SEO and whatever. Don't spam. Yeah, the other one is if you build really cool stuff, I'm talking infographics, or you're doing some for example, you guys should do a keyword research tutorial or that kind of stuff. And if it's kind of mainstream, then you're allowed to cheat. You're allowed to buy traffic to it, as long as it's not. I mean, it's not AdWords. For example, stumble.com, $0.1 per visit. And if people stumble it, then you get a bunch of free stumbles. So very often you end up paying like 3-4 cents per visit when you do something like an infographic. And these people like share socially. They like, and then you get in front of a mainstream audience that can share it, and eventually that's the kind of stuff that you can get picked up by Mashable if it's mainstream, you know? And then you get great links.
Yeah, it's important though. You just kind of mentioned it. StumbleUpon traffic is some of the highest bounce rate traffic you're going to get. So you need to, whatever you're sending traffic to, you need to design it specific. Don't just send them to like your homepage, because like StumbleUpon is literally designed to just click the button to just keep going. So you need something like, your example is a good one here. Like it's above the fold. There's no scrolling. It's immediately obvious what's going on, and it's something they can consume and do immediately. And you have to design it that way, or else you're just throwing money at it. But the nice part, like you said, StumbleUpon's cheap. You can go throw $50 in there and really drive some traffic and test out a bunch of different ideas and find out what really works best. And
exactly. For like link baits, like imagine like you take a lean startup approach and you build like a minimum viable link bait, which is like a minimal infographic or like some cool stats and so on. And then you can just look at the analytics and see who stumbled it and who liked it and everything for like $100. And then you pay a designer $2,000 to build the one that actually got the most success.
Right.
So yeah, it's a great way to like kind of like A/B test your kind of like big pieces of content and that kind of stuff that really could drive a lot of links to you. I know not everyone does that, but it's really successful. And you can see it on Facebook now. Promoting posts, depending on how many fans you have, could be expensive or can be really cheap. I mean, if you have like 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes on, you can get exposed to like 80% of them for like $7, $8. If that's content that's going to get liked and shared and it's your target market and you already built your social followership, super easy to just get a lot of views on your content and then eventually get all these like shares, link, ready submissions, whatever you want, that will help building your authority. So yeah, that's about it for promotion. But now I know you guys care about links. I know all of that. I mean, I hope there's still people in the room. But we're talking about links now. We're talking about how we can use all this kind of methodology and thinking, not only to create great content, not only to promote it and get eyeballs on it, but also to get links to your website and improve your site metrics and also like just get links to your landing pages and all that stuff, because that's what we want. You don't just rank on site authority. And I told you, like inbox queue is amazing. Look, that's a conversation. That's how I got a guest post on a smaller ranch, which is like a really big hosting company, right? That guy's like, hey, I just made some money, and I just want to buy some hosting. What's a good hosting? I'm like, hey, just check out a small ranch. And then they're like, oh my god, thank you so much for recommending us. I'm like, no problem. Will you take a guest post, especially in SEO? And they're like, no problem. And boom, I got a PR5 link.
That's great.
And I go through the article for $15. So really, like it cost me $15 to get a link on a link that, if you were to buy it on like a link marketplace or something, it would cost like $200, $300, you know.
Right.
$15. This is the beauty of that. Once you start thinking that way, you can really find a lot of links, and you can also build like really great relationships with influencers in the industry. For example, we have a guest posting service now, but we're also launching a content service. And I don't know if you guys know this guy, but he's the guy that created Buffer App. And these guys are really big on like content and blog, and they're like a big success story with content marketing.
Right.
So I was like, look, like I want to be friends with these people, and all you have to do is like I think I tweeted, oh my god, for the first time my Buffer App is full, and the guy's like, oh my god, how did it happen? And I wrote him literally like an essay on how I use Buffer App and all this stuff. And now we're talking regularly, you know. So I hope he doesn't hate me for putting that in the slides. But it's a great way to build, like imagine if you could do that with like the biggest person in your industry, and all you have to do is just be really genuine and be like, this is why I like your product, this is why I hate it, and all that stuff. And I guarantee you, even if you do that to like 37 Signals or a really big company, I guarantee you'll build a relationship with these people. All you have to do is just out of the blue, like do something called like a randomized act of kindness. You read about that in Delivering Happiness. So that's like literally a principle Zappos relies on, like multi-billion-dollar company. To just do that, and really you get it's like karma. It builds up. Google Plus. I love Google Plus. I know it's a ghost town, but guys, when you share links in there, they do follow. They count. And if you have your title, your keyword in your anchor text, well, this is a great way to build links. And the thing is, people link to their profile when they guest post, when they write their blog post, because there's a real offer, right? So people actually build just to their profile on Google Plus, and then whenever they share something, it's a do follow link.
That's great.
You know, these are like this is so good. It's like you can get PR9 root domain links.
Right.
And the beauty of it as well is that it's not crowded. So because it's not crowded, but because every authority has to be there, because if they don't, then someone else is going to claim a fake profile, right?
Right.
So they are there. And when they post something, nobody answers. Like even like super famous people, there's like 3 comments, you know?
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is that if you post something really epic, like you'll stand out. You'll be like, holy shit, who is that person? And you can build real relationships and get links. So really, Google Plus. And one thing as well is that there is no way, absolutely no way, that it will never be a ranking factor. I mean, you know for local that it's already there. Local is Google Plus now.
Yeah.
Reviews are Google Plus. There's no way it doesn't make its way to the mainstream search results. So we got the theory of the author rank. There's not much to back it up right now, but it will become that. And even if it doesn't, I mean, if I look at my link profile, I see my links from Google Plus, you know. And if you want to build followers, there's a tool like Follower One called findpeoplonplus.com, and you can do the same. You can type your keyword, find people that are related to your industry, add them, start interacting with them. They'll feel special because someone answered to them on Google Plus, and then get them to reshare your stuff, and you get like a bunch of links. Really easy. Now another tactic I wanted to talk about is like find everyone, like once we've done like all that content promotion and hopefully we've done something decent. I mean, I took Kiss metrics here because we just changed our root domain, so I couldn't do it on ours. Yeah, like everyone that like shares your stuff and like comments and everything, you can scrape these on Follower Wonk as well, and you can scrape the people's email addresses and websites on your comments. And if you use a tool like Burstream, for example, Burstream is like kind of like an outreach software. It's pretty cheap. It's like $29, and you can just like create templates, A/B test them, do all that stuff with email when you do mass outreach. Well, if you import all these people's email addresses and websites in there, then these are like your link targets. Like, hey, thank you for sharing my article. Do you want to guest post? And sometimes that's all it takes, and very often it's really, really easy. So that's why your content is like doing your link targeting for you. It finds the people that will link to you later, and all it needs is just a little help.
Yeah, and to extend on this, you know, I feel like when a lot of people talk about how to make sure you're engaging in a quality way in SEO, you want to actually like build relationships. And you know, I feel like it's kind of played out and everything. And you know, how real can your relationships really be online? But to give a counter example to that, like one time I wrote that one blog post on my personal blog, and it blew up, got a bunch of traffic. And a guy who's now a very good friend of mine, he has a podcast, and he did an entire podcast just talking about my blog post. Like they literally went through every rule in the post and just covered it for an hour. And it was awesome because he's done a bunch of different SEO software over the years. And I just reached out to him personally. I didn't ask him for anything. I just said, hey, thanks. Like, that's awesome that you did that. You know, I'd love to get in touch with you and just kind of talk. And ever since then, we've been kind of emailing back and forth. And he's like giving me, I mean, he's like bought and sold like I think like 12 products or something in his like web products. So he's done this. He's done what I want to do for the rest of my life already. And it's been an awesome relationship to develop, and it was just because I was just kind of paying attention, saw that this one guy, like I just saw the link that came in, I saw somebody follow the refer, and I went and read it, and I wouldn't have even seen that blog or the podcast, and then I listened to it, and I was like, oh wow, I should probably reach out to this guy. And you know, obviously the next step would be like, he's actually, I think in January, he's busy through up to January, but he's going to actually come on and do a blog post or a webinar with us, just like you are right now, Gael. And you know, it's that relationship you're developing, like what you're talking about right here, is that once these people have linked to you or tweeted about you or something, you're on their radar simply because of your content. And then that's better than any sort of recommendation or anything. They've opened the door for you to go talk to them because you're like, hey, you already mentioned my stuff. Let's talk. You know, let's figure out how we can work together, how we can cross-promote, whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like really easy. I mean, like, I'm not saying like go to these people and say link to me right away, but say
Right.
just like add them on Twitter, follow them on Twitter, say thank you, and then like retweet their stuff next time, and then eventually you just like engage in discussion when they ask a question, and eventually you can get a link out of that, and you can just build like special Twitter lists or something to just like outreach to them. And Twitter shows their website, so you can even know if they're like a worthy link target or not, you know?
Right.
So like just from an SEO point of view, you can also be friends with people that don't have great sites. But yeah, that's an easy one. I like this one. See, like there's a lot of people that, for example, own like keyword research software companies. If you send them an amazing testimonial, and you're like, I fucking love you guys, they might link to you from their homepage. And, and think about every product, everything that you use for your website that would appreciate that kind of testimonial. I mean, if they're too big, they're probably going to ignore it. But if they're like a medium-sized company or a small company, and you just send them like an amazing testimonial that they can showcase and be like, look at how amazing we are, they'll probably link to you. And that's really easy. That has a really, really high stick rate. And you get even like, that's when you get homepage links and that kind of stuff way. So that's the SERP-IQ homepage, by the way. So yeah, it really worked. Like just giving a free testimonial out of the blue, and you can even get someone else write it for you, like someone in your team or something. It's not you don't need to spend a lot of time in there. So really, really easy way. And you use your Tile tab to email to them. That's when these plugins are useful. Guest blogging, pretty classic. I mean, now you can really read about it all over the place. So I'm not going to go too much over it. But using that kind of advanced queries, you can find a lot of places that will take content. Very often, they're not always the best places. They kind of like low link profile, or they just use the content you take from them to kind of like link back to their landing page, like in internal linking style. And even on places like My Blog Guest and stuff. I know like all the white hats and everything, they kind of like support unsmartly for My Blog Guest. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of spam in there. And yeah, still a great way to get like, especially with links to your landing pages and stuff. Really easy. You can get your anchor text, you can get all that stuff. But doing great guest blogging takes kind of like quite a bit of time, and you'll feel the difference. And I actually put a link to the. I'll send you the PowerPoint. So put it on SlideShare and we put it in post, and you guys can read a bunch about guest blogging. But yeah, great way to do that. Also, just make friends. Julian, you're here. Like seriously, all I do is like help people. That's the random act of kindness again. Like I just wanted to go really quickly over it, but that's how you get like homepage links and all that stuff. Just help people for free, add them on Skype, network. Very, very easy. People will just link to you without even asking. That's what Julian did for me. This one I shouldn't talk too much about it. But like sponsoring events, really great way to get links, and sometimes it's not expensive. Do you know how much a do-for link on Meetup.com costs?
No.
$5. It costs $5 to sponsor an event, like literally, and you can sponsor events that are in your niche, you know. So you get like related content around it. That's like a Hungarian one because I'm in Budapest right now, but you can get them in English, don't worry. And the beauty of that is that now Meetup.com allows people to host a Meetup page on their own domain. So that means that if you sponsor the Meetup, you get a link from another domain.
Oh, nice.
So you can really list a lot of domains in your niche and just get these links from there for $5.
That's awesome.
The only thing that that can be, I mean, you need to offer some value. Like for example, Prezi offers like they offer a venue for meetups, you know.
Right.
So you need to give like some kind of a discount or something. But like you guys could sponsor like SEO meetups and give a coupon on SERP-IQ, you know.
Yeah.
Most likely you even get conversions from that, and you will get amazing links from a bunch of domains for $5 each. That's really cheap. So and there's other ways to sponsor events, but like Meetup.com is really like it's cheating, you know. All right. like list of like literally like broken link building. I didn't believe it until I got like 3 links in like 1 week from it, which doesn't seem like much, but when it's like a link from a PR4 5 page, not domain page, that's pretty good. 15% of the web goes down every month, every 30 days. 15% of the web goes down, and you can use it for gray hat SEO, which is you can buy drop domains and try and like restore them and try and like link to your site from it, or you can use it for white hat SEO, which is hey, I can just, with my plugins, I can just check which links are for. I email to the guy, and I'm like, hey, all these things are broken on your site. I can give you like even like a free, I give him like a free on-page SEO audit from SERPIQ or something. I send him the PDF. I'm like, look, you could change all these things and get more traffic. By the way, will you add me in at least? And that's it. And actually, it's a method that's given by the guy, by John Cooper from SEO. But it really works. Like just like literally like all these like SEO PDF reports you can build. Like I know a lot of people use it to sell SEO. Just give them away for free sometimes to get links. And that's literally put the URL in, check all of the dead links, and be like, look, this is broken, this is broken. You could fix all of that. And sometimes you might even get people that want to buy consultancy from you, which happened to us. So great way to get links. Just like help people fix their website and fix the web. Super white hat.
Yeah, this is a really good tactic, especially because since the content already exists on the page and you're just going in and finding broken links, oftentimes the page that has those broken links already has some authority built up because it has its own links coming in, or it's just old, whatever it might be. So if you're able to go in there, you're genuinely helping. You know, it's something spammy at all. You're saying, look, this link's broken, it doesn't do anything anymore, but I have the content here, so can you link to my site and we'll fix it, and everybody's happy. That's a really good technique to do it. And you can even, if you even want to go even wider hat, you can just reach out to these people and say, hey, you got broken links on this page. Just want to give you a heads up. And it's just like a goodwill thing, and you can use it as an engagement. Because I'm sure, like on my blog, I have broken links, or even just like broken images. Like when I had to move hosts, I'm sure I lost some images. And if someone reached out to me, I would be very thankful, and I would keep in touch with that person.
And if you want even more links, the trick is take these 4 or 4 websites and put them in Ahrefs and find everyone that links to them, and then send them the email. Because then you get like you rehost the content, and you can get like 20 links.
Right.
From just like the startup. Like, see, I just got my emails. I click here, I got my email. I click broken link template, and then I click send, done. That's all.
Yep. Yeah, and I want to actually reiterate that, because that's a brilliant strategy. So you find a broken link here on this page. You take the URL that it was pointing to, the link that doesn't work anymore. You go and put that into Ahrefs, which is a backlink analyzer. You can use Majestic or OpenSite or whatever. And then you're going to find all the other sites that are linking to that broken URL. And then all of a sudden you've gone from finding one site that's linking to the broken URL to maybe 10, 20, however many. And you can reach out to all of them using your template, like Gael just said. And all of a sudden you're basically hedging your bet. You're increasing your odds of some of those people fixing the links and pointing them to your site. So that's brilliant. Everyone should go do that right now afterwards, just to practice it.
All right, and I know on the chat I bragged about getting like 50-ish PR 4 to 6, 7 links for $20, which is not made up. This is this. CSS galleries. Seriously, this is why you should all invest in content. Like when I submit a site in there, I get like 800 plus visits. And I get links from all these sites. Like look at the page ranks, and there's like 100 like that.
Right.
And that cost me $20 to submit to that. I don't even have to do it. That's a service, like the cssgalleries.com. You can see it on my screen. And that's why that's already a reason to invest like $1,500, $2,000 in design. Just for that. Like you would pay that in link building anyway. Worth it. Really powerful way to get links. It's like easier than running SEO or whatever you do. So yeah, I have nothing to say about that. It's just great. It also links to the designer URL. So if you are a web developer, offer that as an upgrade for your client. Be like, hey, we'll give you an SEO boost for like $300, $400, and then put your URL in there. You will build links to your site. You will build links to their site, and you will actually make money for charging for that. Really great way to just build initial authority on a website. And yeah, the last one I have is like, a lot of people know about that, but I think a lot of people don't know about that. It's like the help a reporter out. You can get in your email every day for free requests of journalists that are looking for sources in different niches, and then you can just outreach to them, and then that's when you get links from like CNN or Huffington Post, so that kind of stuff. Now the trick is like very often when they send these emails, your likelihood of getting a response is really low because these journalists get a lot of emails. The trick for that is that on your website, build an expert page. Like literally, like write a random ebook or whatever, and then like build a page about yourself and about all the great stuff you've done in that industry, and just like Tim Ferriss says, you can become an expert in 4 weeks, so you can probably do it, figure it out. And then you can, and then you link to that when you reply to the journalist. When you show yourself as an authority and it's like easy to consume and they can see you're like great, like you will get about 20 to 50 times more, like 50 times more responses. It's all about selling yourself, and just build a great page for that. It's a one-off, and then you'll be able to use this forever. Reporter connection is also not bad. It's not as powerful, but if you use both and you spend a little bit of time every day just scanning, just use Control F and put your keywords in there, you will be able to get something like once a month, something usually. But these are really great links, like Huffington Post type style. So yeah, that's about it. I think I'm done actually. Yep. So I think we can do the Q&A now.
Sure. Let me pop in real quick before we start the Q&A and just say there was a ton of information in this webinar, ton of tactics, a ton of different plugins and apps that Gael recommended. So what we'll be doing is, first of all, the whole webinar is recorded, and we'll be posting it on the blog. But what I'm also going to do is compile a list of all the links in all the different categories: content outreach, promotion, link building, and all of the plugins that he was talking about, and we'll throw that on the blog too, so you don't have to rewatch to get all of that. And then I guess we can move into Q&A. I have one already right now, Gael.
Okay.
It's from Josh Blackburn, and he's asking, he says, for niche authority sites, do you recommend keeping the front page static or to show the newest post? And if you show the newest post, would you cap it at 5 posts, 10 posts? What's your answer on that?
Okay. I mean, honestly, it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. Because like, if you're just trying to like build a blog, then make it look like a blog. So put your content on the front page, have a jQuery, do it that way. Usually, what I would care the most about is conversion. Because as I said, I don't care about rankings. I care about money. So have a nice little conversion box on the top right. But apart from that, it's not a big deal. I mean, people talk a lot about duplicate content and stuff. Just make sure your header has some unique content, and usually it works out. I mean, look at how many WordPress blogs there is out there. Like Google is not going out and just penalizing all of them. A lot of homepages are ranking well, despite having all these examples of posts and so on. So, I mean, static page, if you're like a business or if you're like something like that, worth it. If you're just a blog and you're like promoting affiliate stuff, then make it look like a blog. I mean, the best way I'm gonna buy from your site is that you must look like a genuine site. And genuine blogs, they don't have like big sales page on the front page. They look like a blog. So that's what I would do.
Just to add on to this specifically, if you're thinking about whether you want to have your blog post prominently on the front page or not, it can be a negative if you don't post frequently. So you need to make sure that you're posting frequently, or maybe weekly or however often, but you have some sort of consistency, because if someone lands on your site and they see that your last blog post is like 8 months ago, it actually is going to look bad on you to have it there. So you might want to actually pull it off if you don't post very frequently, and let people go and find it if they want to read your blog, but you don't want to put it in their face if you're not updating frequently.
Yeah,
so
that's a good
my little tidbit there. And just so everybody obviously can see this slide on the screen right now. We're offering a little discount coupon code to anybody who's listening but hasn't signed up. If you use Serpinar, the coupon, you get 25% off of Gael's service for guest posting. You can see it there. We'll have a link to it in the post, of course, too. But if you want, you can go to hireclick.com/services/guest-post.
Just want to say that these are like really epic blog posts. Like these are not like your like $50 guest post you get on Wikify or something. We really spend time building relationships and stuff. We got like 5 full-time staff working on that, so it's big.
Right. He's his company is the only person company that I would recommend to do this. If someone came to me with a budget and wanted to buy guest posts, go to HireClick. And then we also are offering a coupon to anyone who hasn't subscribed to SERPIQ but who's listening, whether it's now or in the future. If you use the coupon code HireSERPs, you can get 50% off your first month. So we'll get back into question. I just wanted to explain what was on the screen right now.
Okay, we've got another question right now. It says, do you recommend any other syndication tools like Buffer app that would maybe reach more communities or social sites besides Twitter?
I mean, not really. I mean, like I use Quora on my iPhone, like the questions app or something. It's not called Quora. But I mean, I really try to be genuine and actually go in there and read what's going on, because it's really hard to like use all this syndication software and actually like keep in touch with what's happening there. Like it's as if you'd only be reading blogs on your RSS feed. You know, you don't know what the latest product, the launch is. You don't know like the most popular post on the sidebar and that kind of stuff. And you're missing out on a lot of information. Although if you wanted to syndicate more social networks, Hootsuite is really good. It's got a free version. They have like LinkedIn and Google Plus and all that stuff that Buffer app doesn't have, and they have the same thing on the bar on your Chrome, so you can just click, and then it will share the page you're on, and you can share it with a delay and everything. So, if you really want it, use Hootsuite. For social networks, it's great. For communities, I would recommend that you just go on the web page.
Gotcha. Let's see. I actually have a question for you, Gael. You're talking about a bunch of different tactics, and if we were to spend time doing all of them, we wouldn't have time to do anything else. So what would you say as far as using your time effectively, especially if you're doing client sites and you've got to use some of these strategies for multiple websites?
Okay, well, I mean, there's a lot of elements in there. Like, first of all, is it like, are we trying to get a long-term win, or are we trying to get a short-term win? If you're trying to get a long-term win, I would really focus on the content, because just by the mere fact of producing content and having a little bit of authority, you already start improving your traffic, you know? So literally just doing like content and social for the very long term, like really works well. Like you just connect with people and you build that, and then you use all these tips like you know, Google Plus and like submitting your website to OldTop and all that stuff to just get quality links. Even like posting job ads on ProBlogger and all these things, like you get links from all these things. So that's the long term. If you're looking for like short term, then stuff like, I mean, the guest blogging is really good for that. Also, I mean, like getting the Google Plus links from there is really good as well. Like the outreach part of it is where we do like the broken links is probably powerful for that. And yeah, mostly guest posting for that really, if you're looking for short term. Now, if you also have like a beautiful website, then the CSS galleries are an absolute win, and the meetup.com is really good too for like quick stuff.
Okay, great. We've got another question from Julian asking, he says, what do you recommend for niches that have very little online publishers or social behavior, however, they are highly competitive? So this might be, I don't know, like plumbing or electronics or something like that.
Well, I think the fact that they don't have much content doesn't mean you can get links from your content. It just means that you need to produce content that's not made for plumbers or people that buy stuff. For example, you could make an infographic on like the worst stuff you can find in the pipes of New York, like the worst stuff that has ever been found in the water pipes of New York, like really disgusting stuff. Then share it on Reddit. Then you wait for the links. So that's the kind of stuff I would like. If you wanted like a lot of really quality links, fast, then I would just focus on who am I gonna get to link to me. Like for example, this would be like all the like, you know, lol gag and all that stuff if you wanted to make it really funny and all that stuff. And then build something for them, even though they're absolutely not your target market. If you're trying to get link juice, you're trying to get link juice. And think about like, I mean, humorous sites are really high PR usually because a lot of people share them and link to them. So for example, I mean, we're talking about plumber here. There's a lot of like porn cliches and everything you can use in there to make something actually really viral and funny. That will get links authority. And then, I mean, you guys all read my post on Rare Canonical. If you didn't, check on the HireClick blog about my Rare Canonical stuff. You can transfer that link just to whatever page you want.
Perfect. Okay. Dieter actually asked almost the same question. He said, how would you tailor the strategy towards local targets like a city, general physician? I think probably the same principles that you just explained apply to that.
Yeah, I mean, local is different. I mean, like local SEO, you don't need that many links. You don't need that many shares and all that stuff. We're not talking about something really competitive here.
Yeah.
Local is, most of the time, it's all about doing things right, like building an incentive for clients to actually drop reviews on the Google Plus page.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I go to a point where I'm like, guys, let's just, here's a template of a leaflet, just print it and give it to your clients when they buy something. And then we just get like 300, 400% more reviews, naturally, without cheating, right? And just that plus like the right on page and like some good links, that works, you know, citations. Local is not the same ball game, really.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, I'll ask. So let's say somebody's listening here. Maybe they're working with a client or they're working on their own stuff, and they have a limited budget. You know, maybe limited budget in terms of time, or limited budget in terms of actual capital. If given all the things you discussed, what 20% effort? You know, what small things on here do you think you can derive the most results from, given the topics you've covered?
Yeah, the guest posting advanced queries are pretty easy. I mean, they're not the best things in the world all the time, or even like using stuff like my blog guest. It's like cheap guest posts, so they're not like premium guest posts like we do, but they're like cheap, and you can still get your anchor text. You can still get links from quote-unquote related sites. Using the meetup.com technique as well. I mean, $5 per link, it's pretty limited, you know. If your site is okay, use the CSS galleries. Like the comment using is pretty damn easy.
Yeah.
So you just yeah, it's the thing with wet hat SEO as opposed to someone should take a shot right now. Same with wet hat SEO as opposed to like the gray and black hat stuff is that in gray and black hat you can really often just repeat the same thing and just rinse and do it again.
Right.
It's different here because you really quickly reach the limit, so you always have to find, all of these are not like tactics that will get you thousands and thousands of links. And you really need to like have a vast, array of tactics to be able to sometimes be competitive. So, but if you take all of them individually, they're not that expensive, especially if you take the cheap ones. I mean, advanced queries and producing like so-so content for these so-so websites, it's not that expensive. $5 links on Meetup, not that expensive. CSS Gallery is not that expensive. Creating a Google Plus page, this is already a do-follow link. You know, it's like a lot of these very simple things are doable. I wouldn't go for like a big content strategy if you don't have budget, because we all know what blogs that nobody reads feel like. It just hurts, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned this in your response just now, and I think it's important to reiterate. For example, that blog post I shared earlier that I wrote about the link building guide for startups, and what you're talking about with like broken links and looking at and using Twitter and monitoring Twitter to engage with people. These are things that, each one of those things, if you spent 20, 30 minutes a day on each, in the aggregate, you're going to see good results. You're not going to see immediate results. You're not going to see a lot of results really quickly. But the whole point is you're just going to, and this goes for almost everything in SEO. And I feel like this is where a lot of people in SEO come up short, is they'll do like a big blast of effort. They'll like build a bunch of links, and then they'll just sit there and go, why didn't this work? SEO sucks. It doesn't work. You know, whatever. And SEO it's a long game. It's a marathon. It's the persistence is what gets you where you need to be. And I'm pretty sure all of the tactics you mentioned in here, all of them will benefit from consistency, doing them, you know, every day, every other day, weekly, whatever. Just making sure you keep coming back and doing it, because you find more of these broken links that you can get replaced with your own. You can, you know, if you build 5 blog comments a day, you know, you're looking at 3,000 a year. I mean, that's a ton. You know, these things are, that was terrible math, by the way. It's like 1,500 a year. You know, you get my point. It's these, all of these techniques in the aggregate that's where you get the benefit. And I think that goes along with, I was kind of leading you with the question I asked about dealing with a limited budget, is a limited budget extended over time, using these techniques in the aggregate, you can still get good results, especially if you're in a lower competition niche or whatever you might be in.
Yeah, and the beauty of all of that is that, I mean, I doubt that any of that is ever going to get affected by a new Penguin or something, you know.
Right.
So you can plan for a very long term, because when you're doing like this blast and gray hat and stuff, you never know how long you're gonna stay. So like you really keep blasting and you have this feeling of urgency that you don't need to have here unless there's like a big massive change. But I doubt it. Then you'll be okay for like the forthcoming future, which means you can really take your time. And and that's why at the beginning I said you should make your business model white hat as well, which is you should not depend on Google first of all. You should just have something amazing. It's not always easy, especially in local, but local people they just know people. They don't need Google rankings to actually get business. They had business before Google existed. And it's the same way. So, and if you are in that mentality and you just take it slow and build it up, then that's when you're really gonna win. And eventually, you just build like a monopoly. You just take over all the time.
Right. Yeah, and to extend on that, I think a lot of SEOs get hung up on we need more links for the ranking to get more traffic, and that's it's very single-minded. In all the techniques you listed here, there's a tertiary benefit that you can get the traffic from the technique itself. Like if you get a broken link repaired with your own link, and it's in some list that has a lot of traffic, you're going to start getting visitors. You get referral traffic, and what's important in all SEO strategies, if you have a two-prong benefit, your benefit is that you can improve your rankings in Google, which is obvious. There's obvious benefit to that, and then you also improve your referrer traffic, or just improve your brand's standing in the world itself. Then your effort, you slowly start pulling yourself away from Google. You're still benefiting from it, but like you said, they roll out their next whatever the next black and white update's going to be. It will have less of a bang on you depending on how much it affects you, because you've diversified, really. It's the classic don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just focus on links. Yes, links are important because they help your rankings, but there's so much more to it. And I think I was keeping tabs as you were talking. I think every single one of these tactics follows that paradigm of you're going to improve your referrer traffic, you're going to improve your brand overall, as well as your rankings. And I think that's the key takeaway from all of this.
And you build likability as well, which means like people are happy to go back to your website. Because
exactly.
You've been building value even before they bought from you,
Right.
And it means like, they see your website again, of course they'll click again. Like they see your face again with the real author, of course they'll click again, even if you're number 5,
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff right there. We've got one quick question and then one more, and then I think we'll wrap it up. The first one's from Ryan. He wants to know from you, Gael, if you feel strongly about a specific direction that SEO is going to be going in the future.
Okay, well, that's a really deep question. I think Google Plus is here to stay. I always argue with my friends here. Like I tell them that Google Plus will overtake Facebook someday, and I truly believe it. Because Google Plus doesn't need ads to survive and everything, and it can build a better experience. Hence, overall, I think search will deeply change. I read an article today saying that flight search, for example. So if you look for like flight from Miami to New York or something, like by 2018, Google expects to not have results in the page. They just expect to show you flights and only use affiliate programs, which means that eventually Google will become the biggest affiliate out there, and hence the importance of building a real business rather than relying on someone else's business and relying on their affiliate program usually, because I feel that Google wants that money. There's a lot of money in there if you add it up. Look at how much money Expedia is making, for example. That's a lot of money for Google, and they want to grow. They want to get that money, and they will build search result pages that are both good for the user and will help them capture that money, which means really, and that's also one of my reasons why I decided to switch to white hat, because when I started coming with Penguin, like we started way before. I feel like that Google is really, really almighty and powerful, and they will be able to sell whatever they want. Look at how they use Amazon affiliates right now, and they capture like the product listings really have a really high CTR. I think they have like 18% CTR in the ads, and it's Google's links in there. They're linking to Amazon, right? Really build a real business, and because Google will be the biggest affiliate in the world, I think.
Yeah, and I'll drop in my little theory. So the stuff you talked about with the flight stuff, that's actually because Google bought that company that supplies that data to all the other flight companies like Expedia and stuff. So like they just went in and bought it out from everybody else, which is.
And now they can cut the feed, and like Expedia wouldn't have the data anymore. They could
exactly.
do that.
Right. I think they probably won't, because I think that will immediately get them sued more for antitrust stuff.
FTC,
but they could. I mean, there's a threat there. I think, and you kind of touched on it just now. In terms of building a real business, Google's obviously leaning towards brands. Brands are getting more and more presence. They're giving multiple SERP listings to brands. And I think what that's going to start doing is forcing people into the long tail, and specifically forcing people into long tail with informative keywords about how to do things versus like buying something. And when that happens, when you start getting forced in the long tail, the emphasis is much less on high traffic and good rankings, but more on improving your conversion, taking what you can get in terms of Google's traffic, however they send you traffic, and making the most of that traffic. I feel like so many SEOs focus so much on getting their traffic numbers up when, you can see the same benefit by improving your conversion rate on your own site and with less traffic. So I think, as they start emphasizing brands, a lot of the smaller sites are going to get kind of knocked into the long tails. And when it comes to that, you have to focus on improving your conversion rate, because they're throwing you the scraps at that point, essentially. There's arguments to be made that oftentimes long-tail traffic can be higher converting because it's more specific. But regardless of whether it is, you're going to get less traffic from Google at some point. And when that happens, you really have to focus on improving your funnel, focusing on your goals, reducing your bounce rate, stuff like that, because you got to take what you can get. So that's my little tidbit about where it's possibly heading in the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, and also like when you get that long tail traffic, focus on converting it to email or Facebook likes or something, because then you can remarket these people without ever needing Google again. Google should be the way people enter your funnel, but you shouldn't count on it to like actually sell. You just count on it to get the email or get the like or the follow or something,
right.
And then you can just convert people forever. Like as long as they don't unsubscribe, you can always market to them. So this is the highest conversion you can ever have, like more than like a $20 affiliate link, because you can sell 5 products to that person if you're like really trustable.
That's great. Thank you. Let's see. I think that wraps it up for our question session. This is kind of, I don't want the webinar to go too much longer, but I do want to thank Gael for helping us out here and doing this webinar. It's been awesome. I've learned a ton from it, and when I go home to write this up, I'm going to be a little bit mind blown. I think I am a little bit right now. But we do have, like Gael mentioned, we've got the guest post coupon for higher click, and then we also have 50% off SERP IQ for your first month. And then what we'll be doing is I'll be posting all these links on our blog as well as the recording of the webinar. And then once this webinar ends, I think what we've done is set up a little survey that just asks you what's something you want to see in our next webinars, because we're going to be trying to do these once or twice a month to be conservative. Let's just say once. But we're going to try to line up a really cool schedule for you guys. So if you guys could give us some feedback, that'd be really, really awesome. And I'll toss it over to Darren if he has some final words to say.
Yeah. Again, thank you to Gael and Kevin for moderating everything and going through the questions. So we're going to have all the resources, all the links, the actual deck, the recording on the site. And if you guys ever have any questions about the webinars, or if you just want to talk to anybody who's involved in webinars, we had Wyatt last time, we have Gael this time. If you ever want to reach out, we'll have the contact information on the site as well. So feel free to contact us and ask us further questions. We might even if you ask a good question, we might even turn that into its own whole blog post to keep covering it. But, we're going to keep this pattern going of trying to bring in people who are much smarter than us in these very specific things. And, Gael's at the top of the industry, basically, and a lot of the stuff he talked about. So we wanted to share that with you, a lot of great tidbits. So, thank you, everybody. Gael, thank you for being around and helping us out here and taking the time to be with us. And
No worries.
Yeah, I think this is great, and I think we're just about done now.
All right. Well, good luck.
All right. Thanks, guys. We will see you next time.